Hola, bienvenidos, as we say in class, ojos, ojos. My name is Lori Tidyman Jones, and my pronouns are she, ella. Mi nombre es Lori Tidyman Jones, and my pronouns are she, her. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. I'm a co-leader. You may never have heard this before, but I'm a co-leader of the UU Fresno San Joaquin team. Yeah! If you notice I'm a little wound up today, that's what I'm coming from. If you signed up to attend our founding convention, this is a loving reminder that we need you to show up. Got it? Got it. We want 120 church members there. UU has always shown up. We've always been the stars of the show, and so let's do it again. If you're a visitor or new to the church and have no idea what I'm talking about, no worries, Tim will explain that later, right? Okay. So welcome to everyone on our online campus. Hello, everybody wave. Please share this live stream with your friends or followers. Welcome to everyone here. I think I've said that. And a shout out to everyone attending at your particular time on Facebook. Hello to you. We are one congregation in many places. Somos una congregación en muchos lugares. We welcome you no matter your race or culture of origin. We welcome you no matter your primary or secondary language. We are welcome no matter our age, spiritual background, or religious beliefs. Our neurodiversity is welcome here. We are welcome no matter our level of formal education or the amount of money we have. Our disabilities and abilities are welcome here. We welcome those of us who are lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, non-binary, gender fluid, queer, or intersex. You are welcome with or without documentation. No one is illegal in this church. All are welcome here. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. ¿Es la verdad? Sí, sí. We acknowledge that our Alluvial Avenue Church campus sits within the traditional homelands of the Yokuts people, the original and continued caretakers of this land. This land acknowledgement, it's not just words. It honors the elders of the indigenous peoples of this land and recognizes, so important to recognize the genocide, forceful removal, and displacement of the peoples whose land and territories were stolen from. It reminds us of the ongoing realities of colonialism that impact people today. If you are on our online campus and want your joy, sorrow, concern, gratitude included in today's service, just text us at 239-6543. And we'll make sure it is included in the service. In a moment, we'll have a brief time of greeting, my favorite part. If you prefer your own private space, just feel free to sit this out. So online, in person, on our Alluvial Avenue campus, or in the silence of your hearts as we feel comfortable, let's say not bienvenidos, buenos dias to each other. Bienvenidos, okay. This is your time. Buenos dias, no problem.
Buenos dias. Oh, that was the dress rehearsal. Let's do it real now. Buenos dias. Woo! Mi nombre es Timoteo. My name is Tim. My pronouns are he, him, and I serve gratefully as minister of this proudly progressive congregation. In just a moment, the sound of the tingsha is going to invite us into a time first of silence and then into the gift of some gorgeous, gorgeous piano music. We are honored and excited to have today our special guest pianist, Firuz Motadi. And thank you for being here as we celebrate today the rich cultural legacy of Iran, Persia. And so, the ancient sound of the tingsha, let it connect us to the past and the present of a truly beautiful land. This morning, as we light the flame in the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, the flaming chalice, I'm remembered of an eternal flame that burns in the ancient Zoroastrian temple in Iran that has been lit and burning and never extinguished for 1,500 years. This morning we light our chalice for the civilians of Iran, and by extension, also the civilians of Lebanon. These are words that we will sing later in the service, but seem appropriate. This is my home, the country where my heart is, but other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, oh, hear me, all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. I invite you to light your chalice or candle at home as we kindle the flame here on our Alluvial Avenue campus. And as our chalice burns, as does the Zoroastrian light in Iran, I invite us to rise and body your spirit. Our song of praise is a little raucous. Gonna lay down my sword and shield.
Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Gonna study war no more. I ain't 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 gonna study war no more. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Gonna study war no more. I ain't 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 gonna study war no more. I'm gonna shake hands around the world, everywhere I roam, everywhere I roam, everywhere I roam. I'm gonna shake hands around the world, everywhere I roam. Gonna study war no more. I ain't 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 gonna study war no more.
I invite us to remain standing as we remind each other the mission of this, our church. La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. May it be so. Please be seated. Well, on this gorgeous spring morning, we are going to sing our kids as they head off to their spirit explorations. Let's sing them out.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go, to nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go, to nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
As our kids' voices fade into the morning, I invite us to take a big, deep breath of relief. Let's take in a breath, breathing in peace. Oh, breathing out love. Again, together we breathe in peace, imagining we're breathing peace into every cell in our body. And then we transform it and breathe out love to our beautiful and broken world. One more time, together, we breathe in the intention of peace, and we breathe out the affirmation of love. As we continue to breathe together, knowing that the person next to you or across the aisle from you is breathing at their own pace, their own depth, reflecting their own unique body and identity. Let's imagine that breath could carry us back over the last week, and for a moment we just take an accounting, a remembrance of those 7 days. A simple question for us this morning: what was the most rewarding part of the week that just ended? If your brain functions like mine often does, usually when I do an accounting of the week, it's always the things that went wrong or the things that I did wrong or didn't do. And it's important to also remember those things that are positive and rewarding. Each week we do get quiet, we do pause, and we create space just to be with our joys, our sorrows, our concerns, our gratitudes. Some of us stopped at the small table at the entranceway to our sanctuary here on Alluvial Avenue. Other dear ones on our online campus sent in a text. This is just a little of what is alive among us today. Jamie has a joy that Cara completed her master's program. Lisa has a joy and says, congratulations to Cara for her graduation a week from Monday. She's receiving a master's in health policy and law. And we hear from the graduate themselves a card of joy. Happy to share, I have completed school, graduate next week with an MS degree. Hooray! I love it that at a Unitarian church we have a Trinitarian celebration. Jen is feeling sorrow today. love for Robbie, another beloved of our congregation, as Robbie begins to say goodbye to his kitty, Georgia. And also, Jen asks for prayers for Robbie, her beloved child, who is a wildlands firefighter as they prepare for the fire season. So may Robbie and all those who step into the fires be safe. Betty Prang is feeling grateful. She writes, to our wonderful auction that has introduced me to new experiences, food, restaurants, and community. Yesterday's painting class was great fun, and for a photographer who didn't think she could draw or paint, a revelation. And Ray is reminding us and wishing us and celebrating a happy Asian American Pacific Islander Month. We also remember those beloveds who are unable to be with us today because of health or other challenges. We lift up Robin C., who had major surgery this past week. We lift up Bill S. as he continues facing multiple health challenges and procedures. We think of Barbara C., Paula F., Dominic P., Myrna S., Glenda R., and Pat M. This morning, we must stop and grieve. We must stop and announce our rage that our radicalized right-wing Supreme Court this past week gutted and decimated the little that was left of 1965's historic Voting Rights Act. Dear ones, let's remember that Fannie Lou Hamer was beaten and imprisoned trying to gain those voting rights. Let us remember that Martin Luther King and Medgar Evers were assassinated trying to keep those voting rights. Hundreds of young people endured violence during sit-ins to gain those voting rights. Hundreds of thousands marched for those voting rights, and now they are gone. This will strip away much needed representation in the government for large swathes of the Black community, especially in the South, but also beyond. We also grieve this week a lower court's ruling outlawing mifepristone, impacting across the country in every state a person's ability to have telehealth appointments and receive this important health care by mail. On a more positive note, we wish Beltane blessings for all those who celebrate the pagan earth-based tradition. This May Day celebration marks for the pagan tradition the beginning of summer. So happy summer. And Ray, as you reminded us, we have just begun celebrating Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month, as well as Jewish American Heritage Month. And so for everything that has been spoken, and for all those things that I know we're just holding in the silence, the privacy of our own hearts, and for all those who on this day have no one to speak their name with gentleness or love, we light our candle of community. By our remembering, may we and they be blessed. And we light our second candle, as we have been doing. This candle is our candle of compassion, resistance, and hope. Sometimes it's hard to light, isn't that appropriate? But, dear ones, light it. We did, and it burns bright. during this time where so much of what we value is under attack by our federal government. In times like this, it's important to keep our hearts open, although sometimes that feels near impossible. May these words recall us to our best selves again, heart wide open.
You've got to keep your heart wide open, though the waves wanna push you around. You've got to keep your heart wide open till your faith brings you back to solid ground. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open, though the waves wanna push me around. I'm gonna keep my heart wide open till my faith brings me back to solid ground. We're gonna keep our hearts wide open, though the waves wanna push us around. We're gonna keep our hearts wide open till our faith brings us back to solid ground.
Our words of prayer or reflection come to us from Reverend Michelle Collins. Let us pray. Spirit of life and wonder, we come carrying questions we barely know how to ask. In a world that rewards quick answers and sharp certainty, something in us still hungry for questions that leave us hanging and unknowing. Stir in us a living curiosity. When we meet what is unfamiliar, turn our fear into wondering, and when we feel the pull to shut down, grant us one more honest question. May we notice anew what we have walked past 100 times. May we listen for stories we have never heard before. May we meet this day not as a problem to solve, but as a mystery to explore. And my dear, this help us better know the mystery that is in us. May it be so, Blessed be. Amen.
The great Persian poet Hafez is considered one of the most spiritually influential writers to come out of the Islamic world. Hafez lived from 1315 to 1390. His writings are treasured not just in his native Iran, where Iranians know his poems and sayings by heart, but these writings, this wisdom is treasured the world over. Born in Shiraz, Iran, his writings influenced the thinking of Unitarian prophet Ralph Waldo Emerson, who treasured Hafez's wisdom, insight, and natural mysticism. At times, his language can be elevated and oh so complex, calling us to soar to spiritual and sometimes romantic heights. At other times, he's curt or cautionary, and at times, he is downright earthy, as you'll hear in just a moment. Hafez's poetry is one of Iran's many gifts to our contemporary world.
Cast All Your Votes for Dancing by Persian poet Hafez. I know the voice of depression still calls to you. I know those habits that can ruin your life still send their invitations. But you are with the friend now and look so much stronger. You can stay that way and even bloom. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and work and music and from your companions' beautiful laughter. Keep squeezing drops of the sun from the sacred hands and glances of your beloveds, and, my dear, from the most insignificant movements of your own holy body. Learn to recognize the counterfeit coins that may buy you just a moment of pleasure, but then drag you for days like a broken person behind a farting camel. You are with the friend now. Learn what actions of yours delight, what actions of yours bring freedom and love. Whenever you say love's name, my ears wish my head was missing so they could finally kiss each other and applaud all your nourishing wisdom. Oh, keep squeezing drops of the sun from your prayers and your work and your music, and from your companions' beautiful laughter, and from the most insignificant movements of your own holy body. Now, sweet one, be wise. Cast all your votes for dancing.
I invite us to rise and body your spirit. I invite us to rise and body your spirit. We're going to sing, "This Is My Song."
This is my song, oh hear me all the nations, a song of peace for lands so far and wide. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. But other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine. My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. But other lands have sunlight too, and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine. Oh, hear my song, oh, hear me all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. This is my song, oh, hear me all the nations, a song of peace for their lands are and mine. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. Oh, hear my song, oh, hear me all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine.
Please be seated. It was early Sunday morning, February 29th, just 63 days ago. It was 4:45 a.m. That's when I wake up on Sunday mornings. And as I often do, one of the first things I did was open up my New York Times app to read the news. And that morning I read that overnight the United States and Israel had begun bombing Iran. We were at war in a part of the world that was already a tinderbox, into which we yet again inserted ourselves and unleashed what the U.S. Department of Defense dubbed Operation Epic Fury. My heart broke a bit as I realized that not only had my country embarked on an unprovoked, illegal, and immoral war, but the cities, streets, buildings, and innocent civilians that were among the targets were known to me. 12 years ago, I walked those same streets of Tehran as I began my travels through Iran. I've often said that I believe the purpose of Unitarian Universalism, the purpose of our Unitarian Universalist faith, is to expand the boundaries of our heart. Amidst an American political and religious culture that teaches us that love is limited, that there isn't enough compassion or care for everybody, our Unitarian Universalist faith challenges us to expand the boundaries of our heart so that we can hold within it more and more and more until we can feel our fundamental interdependence with all of life. I was reminded of this 12 years ago when I was sitting in Shiraz, Iran, at the tomb of the great Iranian poet and mystic Hafez, in this sacred place in a country that I had been reared to fear. An elderly Iranian woman recited from memory these words penned some 670 years ago. Out of a great need, we're all holding hands and climbing. Not loving is letting go. Listen, the terrain around here is far too dangerous for that. Hafez's words again, and if you're comfortable, would you say these with me? Out of a great need, we are all holding hands and climbing. Not loving is a letting go. Listen, the terrain around here is far too dangerous for that. 12 years ago, when I told my friends I was going to travel to Iran, many of them got this really worried look on their face. Isn't it too dangerous to go there? They asked. Most of us who grew up in the United States know of Iran from the news, from movies, and political propaganda. Our knowledge of Iran is usually limited and almost always skewed. Some of us are old enough to remember images from 46 years ago as angry mobs took over the American embassy. For others of us, it's just a picture we may have seen in a history book or on the web. A decade after that, our president pronounced Iran as part of the axis of evil. How many remember that proclamation? Yeah. Even before the start of our current chosen war, social media was full of talking heads spouting about the evilness of Iranians. One could and can easily get the impression that Iran is this backwards country teeming with terrorists and fundamentalist zealots who hate Americans and want to destroy everything cultured and civilized. What I experienced 12 years ago was, yes, a country of complexities and complications. But first and foremost, I experienced a country of astonishing magnificence and splendor, populated by a people who prized intellectual curiosity, who could recite from memory some of the world's most exquisite and spiritually evocative poetry, who created elegant meals that were mouth-watering works of art, and who opened up their homes and extended a warmth and welcome that embodied the ethic of heartfelt hospitality. What I found was an extraordinary culture that has endured for 3,000 years, not 250, 3,000 years. What I found was a people and a country of undeniable beauty. Here's just the smallest glimpse. The dance between mosque, minaret, and midday sky. Blue and golds reaching toward the heavens. Sacred domes of careful handiwork. The immensity of Imam Square in Isfahan, one of the largest public squares in the world. Mosaics, the Kaju Bridge stretching across Zayandarud River, the Karim Khan Citadel in Shiraz, garden after garden after garden, fountain after fountain after fountain. The ancient ruins of Persepolis, the earliest of which date back 2,500 years to 515 BCE, a lasting testimony of a conquering empire. Bazaar after bazaar after bazaar. The streets of Yazd, the earth-toned desert city of Iran, and the Nasr al-Mulk Mosque in Shiraz, whose stained glass windows bathe worshipers in an amazing rainbow of light. As I moved through and as I experienced such truly staggering beauty, I thought of all those preconceptions I'd carried into the country. And I thought about this quote from Hafez: "Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see you living in better conditions." Now, this is not to say there isn't much to fear in Iran, especially today. We know it is ruled by an unrelenting authoritarian religious regime. It's a police state that has brutalized its people for decades, as did the American-backed Shah for decades before that. This recently escalated in unprecedented ways. We know of the 2022 arrests, torture, and killing of women protesting for personal freedom. We know that this January, the regime mowed down thousands upon thousands of protesters, most of them young people, shot dead in the street. Since January, 50,000 protesters or people suspected of dissent have been arrested. 50,000 since January. They've been arrested, denied contact with family, and face the death penalty for treason, for just protesting. Hangings are happening, even as we speak. 12 years ago, inside the privacy of their homes, I met Iranians who told me that their country was run by, quote, a group of crazies, a small group of fundamentalist religious crazies, end of quote. They said, this is not what we believe or who we are. In fact, there's a sizable secular side to Iran. I was stunned to learn that only 4% of Iranians regularly attend services in the country's 58,000 mosques. The people I talked to looked at Islam as a conquering religion that displaced their own native Zoroastrianism. Now, this isn't to say that there aren't many devout, faithful, non-fundamentalist Muslims in Iran. But Iran is a country of complexities and contradictions. For instance, 12 years ago when I was there, Iran would flog and hang gay men, while government policies supported its transgender citizens and subsidized their gender reassignment surgery, something that doesn't happen in the United States. In a country where Sharia law prohibits alcoholic beverages, I had some of the best home-brewed beer and bathtub gin I've ever tasted. 12 years ago, when I was in Iran, many forms of freedom were visible. Unlike in Afghanistan, where I had been 2 years prior, women were outside. Women were everywhere. Young couples walked hand in hand in the parks and gardens, not in Afghanistan, but in Iran. College-age lovers flirted and hung out together on the grassy promenade along the river in Esfahan. Women wore the hijab, but it was often worn far back on the head, providing a clear view of their hair, which was often beautifully styled. Tight, body-fitting, skinny jeans were popular with many, many young women and men. Appearing fashionable was valued, and many urban teens and young adults were dressing in the newest and sleekest styles from Europe, which circles us back 3,000 years to that ancient Persian culture which so values beauty. It values beauty in a myriad of forms: beauty of presentation, beauty of color, the beauty of texture, the beauty of sound, the beauty of contrast, the beauty of attention to detail, the beauty of history, the beauty of continuity, the beauty of life itself. You see it in Yazd, where the Zoroastrian fire temple, in that temple, as I said earlier, a flame has burned continuously for 1,500 years. That one single flame has been carefully tended for over 1,500 years and has never allowed to be extinguished. Talk about attention to detail. You also see beauty in other rich spiritual traditions in Iran. The teachings of the classical Persian mystics are treasured, they're memorized and recited. As I've said, considered the greatest of all the Persian poets, Hafez is one of the most popular religious voices in Iran and in the world. Even Unitarian Ralph Waldo Emerson respected Hafez's wisdom. He said, Ralph Waldo Emerson himself, quote, Hafez sees so far, Hafez sees throughout. Such is the only person I wish to see or be. End of quote. In the city of Yaz, a young boy proudly shared with me this story, first told by Hafez some 670 years ago. It goes like this. Once upon a time, a young woman came to Hafez and said, what is the one sign of someone knowing God? And Hafez became very quiet, stood in silence for over a minute, lovingly looking deep into that young person's eyes. Finally, Hafez spoke. My dear, they have dropped the knife. The person who knows God has dropped the cruel knife so often used upon themselves and others. Hafez believed that the purpose of life is to expand the boundaries of our heart. And that begs questions. In what way are you being called to expand the boundaries of your heart? Where does your love and compassion stop? Who might you be excluding? Who do you look on as other? It makes me wonder, in what way are we as a church community being called to expand the boundaries of our collective heart? Where does our love and compassion stop? Who might we be still excluding? Who is left out? Here in the United States, even as our own authoritarian regime is trying to drive out or destroy diversity and democracy, how are we as a country being called to re-expand the boundaries of our collective heart? Who is being left out that must now be welcomed in? Hafez knows how hard it can be to do this. Some 670 years ago, he wrote, leave the familiar for a while. Make a new watermark on your excitement and love. All the hemispheres in existence lie beside an equator in your heart. This is what I discovered when 12 years ago I journeyed to Iran. The people I met there, the culture I experienced there expanded the boundaries of my heart so that I could hold much more in love, understanding, and respect. So I could better feel our fundamental interdependence with all life. Dear ones, that doesn't change the complexities and contradictions of Iran, but it did teach me that there is great, great beauty beyond boundaries and borders. Que así sea, bendito sea. May it be so, blessed be. Amen. This is the moment in our service where we simply say thank you, gracias. Thank you for all the different ways that we together, you together, sustain this church community from week to week to week. Your presence here this morning, just being here or just being at home and inviting us into your kitchen or your living room is a way of sharing and being together. A few of us also might feel moved this morning to make a special contribution, and we would never say no to that. We would also say thank you, gracias. In that spirit, I invite us to join together in our congregational response. If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? Si no somos nosotros, entonces ¿quién? Si no con corazones abiertos, entonces ¿qué? Si no es ahora, entonces ¿cuándo? Si no es aquí, entonces ¿dónde? Si no damos generosamente, entonces ¿cómo? Si no somos nosotros, entonces ¿quién? There are many ways that you can make your offering if you feel so moved. May this church continue to be worthy of the many, many forms of your gifts. The morning offering will be gratefully received. My dear ones, I'm aware that as we prepare to extinguish the flame in our chalice, that flame in the ancient Zoroastrian temple in Iran continues to burn and will burn, we pray, for another 1,500 years. Please join with me in our chalice extinguishing words. Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts. I do have just a few reminders before we sing our sung benediction and have our closing words. Cecily's picture appears on our screen. Cecily is our coordinator of community life. If you are new or newish, Cecily would love to meet you, talk to you, and help orient you to the wonderful, wonderful world of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. A lot is happening after service today. Outside in our beautiful courtyard, we'll have social hour There will be a question and answer table with a board member, so if you're new and you're going, I don't know anybody, just get your coffee, go to the table with the turquoise, that's a very Persian color, turquoise tablecloth, and there'll be a board member, and they will love to meet you and talk with you. And we have instituted a weekly plea. We need one person who is willing to help dry dishes. We're a little short in the volunteers in the kitchen lately, and so all they're asking is there one person each week who might, towards the end of coffee hour, just go over there and dry some dishes. That's a really easy way to share without making a long time commitment, but it's desperately needed. So, Cecily, we said there was a lot going on today. Today is our all-church picnic. It will begin at 12:15 at Railroad Park, which is just up Alluvial Ave a bit. You can bring a picnic lunch. There'll be games. There'll be a music jam session, our world-famous pie contest. And if you don't have anything for lunch and you'd like to go, we have sandwiches, apples, and chips that have been packed up. I believe they're in the kitchen, and the lunch is on us. Just grab a bag lunch and then head up to Railroad Park. Also today is the 4 p.m. founding event at Fresno State. There will be members of the IAF Industrial Area Foundation from all over California, and in fact, folks have flown in from different parts of the United States to be with our UU Fresno Unidos San Joaquin, United San Joaquin team. This is a major moment in social justice history in Fresno. Never before has there been such a broad-based coalition of faith-based organizations, nonprofits, and unions coming together to say we need to create change in the valley. It's going to be an amazing show of power. I hope you will join us. And again, it will be 4 p.m. today. If you have questions, there'll be folks outside able to answer everything you need to know about Unidos San Joaquin. And could we just see a show of hands for folks who at least have registered that they're going to be going today? So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, it doesn't stop at 4 p.m. It doesn't even stop at 5:30 when we promise the founding event will be over. Next Sunday is one of the favorite services of the year, our annual Flower Communion. What this means is you are invited to bring a flower or two with you to church. This can be a flower from your garden. This could be a flower from a florist, a flower from Trader Joe's. You're even given dispensation to borrow a flower from your neighbor's garden to bring with you. And it is a beautiful celebration of community and history next Sunday here in the sanctuary. We are going to take a moment to introduce anyone who's visiting, but first we want to appreciate yet again Ferouz Motadi, our guest pianist. And because his music is so exquisite, we're going to end our service in a slightly different way. After our closing words and our sung benediction, we're going to invite you to just sit down for a short moment of peace and beautiful music before the day unfolds. And the piece we'll be listening to is an adaptation of traditional Persian melodies. So that will be after our sung benediction. So we do like to invite folks who are here for the first, second, or third time to rise for a moment so we can welcome you gently. We promise we won't leave you standing alone for long. So if you happen to be here for the first, second, or third time and you're feeling bold, please rise so we could welcome you. Anybody? Welcome, welcome. Yay, welcome back. Awesome. I invite the rest of the congregation to rise with them. If you came with somebody, feel free to join hands. If not, your hands over your heart. I decided we had to end with a quote from Hafez. This one was one of my favorite this morning. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see us all living in better conditions. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Let's sing. Shalom and assalamu alaikum. Let's take in a deep breath. Let's settle back in our seats for yet another gift of music from the Persian tradition.